How did you poop in Survivor?
You can either dig a hole or you can go in the ocean, which we call an aquadump.
Someone offered to pay my rent for a sock.
How do you casually initiate a foot
Also,
job?
I think that one maybe holy water.
I heard a Mariah success story the other day.
Meanwhile, I heard on Paradise they don't even have air conditioning, so I'm like, peace. But I also didn't get asked. Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome back to the Scaries podcast. I'm your host, Maddie Rossi, and we are back to help you through your Sunday scaries for another week. Whether you sent a nude to your coworker, woke up in a stranger's bed, or still can't get over your situationship, we're here to help you through it, or at least make you laugh about it. Today, we are lucky enough to be joined by Miss Anika Dhar, a close friend of mine that you may also recognize from the latest season of Survivor. Today, she's going to join us to help us as we try and survive Sunday.
Oh yeah, I'm excited and ready.
I'm excited for you to be
dive in.
Let's do it. So before we get into things, did just want to remind everyone of the ground rules. All submissions that you'll hear today are anonymous and will stay anonymous. This is an inclusive space. We do not spread any hate. And we are not licensed therapists, so
we
should not. This advice should not be used in lieu of any actual medical advice. All right, I think we're ready to jump in.
We're ready.
Okay, so to those that may be new here and to Anika, I just want to quickly explain how we'll do things. So I have my scary submission cards right here that we'll go through. We have 3 segments today. The first 2 you guys are all familiar with. We'll start with a rapid fire round where I will read submissions and we will do any gut reactions or advice that we have. Then we'll go into Scary Story Time, which is a bit more of a fleshed out segment where we can each take turns telling some scary stories. And the last segment, which I will keep for a surprise, is an all new segment that I'm excited to put Anika to the test. And
should I be nervous, Matt?
Maybe a little nervous. I will say this is definitely one of the raunchiest segments that we've done and one of the most out there. So you're really, we're throwing you into the fire with this
I'm
one.
ready. I'm ready.
I think you are too. This is why I knew I could trust you for this one.
Raunchy, sign me up.
Well, raunchy, but it's kind of logic too. I know you're good at puzzles.
I do love a puzzle.
You've shown that on this season.
I do.
You were a
For all
puzzle
of those
master.
who watch, I do love a puzzle.
So I tried to adhere to your strengths here, and I think it'll apply some of your logical
I appreciate
thinking.
that. You're thinking about me. Thank you.
As always. Okay, so let's get into it. And this one actually is an unconventional submission because it actually comes from Reddit. So a first ever Reddit submission, technically, or I pulled it from Reddit.
Were you deep diving on Reddit, Matt?
I may have. They say we don't.
Do you look yourself up on Reddit?
No, I just get it sent to me.
I do. I search my name on Reddit. I search my name in the Discord channel.
Yeah, so be nice because we're watching. Or don't be nice.
We're watching, we're reading, we're listening.
No, give us your worst. But
we can take it.
So from Reddit comes, I just noticed that Jen's ex follows that girl Anika on Survivor. WTF? So I guess, should we give a little bit of context to how we know each other? And then I also want to hear a little bit more on how you ended up on Survivor.
How would you say we met each other?
So we met through a mutual friend. So you went to Boston University.
I did. I lived in Boston for 6 years. And then I finally made the move to Los Angeles. But what's funny is that you would think that we would have met in Boston, but we actually met in LA for the first time.
Yep. And also, fun fact, we lived in the same building in Boston.
We did.
But not at the same time.
No.
So like
I was first.
Yeah, you were first.
After.
So I was going through one of my many existential crises, and I had been living in Boston for 2 years and was maybe thinking about a move out to LA. And I decided to go for a month because I was still working remote from COVID. And some friends had said, oh, we have this really good friend that you are kind of 2 peas in a pod. You remind me of each other. You're both kind of bigger personalities, funny, somehow know everyone. You guys should totally meet. She used to live in Boston, but she just moved to LA. So you guys should totally link up. So turns out the house that I was house sitting for a month, or like subletting, happened to be
walking distance. Like in LA, this is crazy. It was like a street over from where I lived in West Hollywood. So we spent pretty much like almost every day.
Yeah, every day.
For like a month.
Yeah. So we like really, again, like hit the ground running. And everyone was so right. We just like immediately clicked. Like we were going to, I remember you took me out to a trivia night. I immediately met all of your friends,
the first
your roommates.
night that we met, you came to a friend's birthday party. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's true.
Took you to a friend's birthday party. I met some of your friends in LA.
Yeah, we
You
had
met
some
all my friends in
sushi.
LA.
Yeah, our
Sushi.
friends ended up going on a date.
Oh
after.
yeah, that's a good story. Yeah, a year, like years later. That's funny.
Yeah, so we spent a month out there. I was deciding if I wanted to move to LA. I got cold feet, but also my office had decided that we were returning to office, so I had to now be in office 2 days a week. I ended up getting a promotion, and it just wasn't the right time, or at least
We wanted Matt in LA.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to live in LA. Like, that's why I always wear that
He's
brown
been saying
LA
to me
hat
that he's gonna move for the past 3 years.
for years. So if anyone from LA wants to give me a job, I'm willing to take it so that we finally get out there.
Yeah, get him to LA, guys. Or
But-
New York. Who knows?
Or New York,
The
we'll
world
see.
is his oyster.
Yeah, but I get decision paralysis. Like, one thing about me is I can't make a decision.
That's why you're still here in Boston, Massachusetts.
That's why we're here. So fast forward a few years. So we had spent the month together. I ended up staying in Boston, signing a lease in the apartment that you lived in.
Yes.
And I spent 2 years there, and that's when I kind of started my content creator journey, because I was honestly pissed that I had to move back to Boston against my my own whim. So I started my
well.
entrepreneur kind of journey so that I
Yeah.
could eventually live wherever the hell I want. And fast forward now, I'm doing this full time.
Which we're so proud about.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so happy about how fast you grew. It's amazing.
Thank you. It's a lot of work.
It's because
but
you're entertaining and
Thanks.
so fun to listen to and clever.
Thank you. We keep going. I could do this all day.
I know. Yeah. Let me just continue hyping him up, please.
So I remember you visited it was about a year ago this time, right? Like, you were visiting Boston.
Oh yeah, when we had Ethiopian.
Yeah, we had Ethiopian food, which
I made
hate
Matt-
Ethiopian food.
Okay. I am a huge lover of Ethiopian food. I'm going to shout out Asmara in Cambridge. It's one of my favorite places. And I thought, let me take Matt Rossi to give it a try.
And I'm open to everything. I think I'm very open-minded. Like, I will try any food. However, I discovered
Was it the eating with your hands?
it was the eating with the hands. It was super spicy. So I have a terrible
Okay.
spice tolerance.
There we go.
So Ethiopian food just immediately...
For those
was a
who
no.
don't have a terrible spice tolerance, it's just flavorful.
It was a cool experience. I definitely liked the sense of community around a table, all with our bare hands eating from the same, basically, mosh pit of food in the center.
Can I tell you my favorite moment of that dinner?
When? What?
So it's a very small, like, hole-in-the-wall kind of restaurant. There's one Ethiopian woman who runs it, right? So first of all, like, strike number one, he asks for a fork. Okay, the woman looks at him like he's crazy. Strike number two, the menu is, like, pretty small, and we're ordering drinks, okay? And then Matt, without looking at the menu, just goes, "You got the holiday Sam Adams?" Is that
It was
what
cold brew, or cold snap.
Cold snap at Sam Adams brew. And then she looks at him like he's crazy. You're like, we have an Ethiopian beer and an Ethiopian wine and hot tea. So
I got a hot tea and I got the Ethiopian beer, which was great, but God forbid a white boy asked for a fork.
yeah, you're in Boston. You're in Massachusetts. God forbid he asks for a seasonal Sam Adams.
I just didn't want to use my hands. I knew where my hands have been all day, and I didn't know where all of your hands have been. And I just, but I obliged, and she was awesome. She honestly made the experience.
Survived
She
the
was fine.
meal.
Yeah, survived the meal. So then, okay, around this time, so we're at Ethiopian food, and you start teasing a bit that
Oh, I do.
you're going on some sort of TV show, and
I wasn't fully cast yet, but
Yeah.
I was pretty far in this very extensive casting process. It was so hard for me to shut up, and I was very excited about it.
And I had to sign NDAs. I know a lot of people from the world of reality TV that sign NDAs and reveal a lot more than what Anika did. Like, she would not reveal anything, but she said to me, "Think hard. What show have I always loved?" And I'm like, is she going on So You Think You Can Dance? Like, I don't know, because I think of Anika, I know you're a really good
yeah.
dancer, so I'm thinking it's going to be something
That's a good guess.
talent related. The last thing I would have thought was Survivor. Like, what if I always wanted to go to a desert island for a month?
I've always
and
wanted to starve to death. It's been my dream.
get snatched.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, and I didn't pry. I want to be respectful of the legal contracts that you.
I refused to tell him the show.
Yeah.
He kept guessing the whole entire weekend. He
I
couldn't
guess
get it.
I was Googling reality TV shows, like every single one, Too Hot to Handle, like everything.
Love is Blind, all of them. Yep.
Yeah.
No.
And I just had no idea. And like, meanwhile, I don't think Jen had been picked as the Bachelorette.
Jen wasn't officially
at this
casted
point.
yet. No.
Yeah, because her and I were still kind of
Chatting.
in that.
Let's say chatting.
Yeah.
No, this is not a safe pod. You can be
it's not
as
safe.
raunchy as you want.
Yeah, we were hooking up again and talking, and so that was like, this was like a month before we were supposed to go to the wedding. She was coming to the wedding with me.
Yeah.
I think I told you guys that.
Yeah.
We
knew that. We knew that you guys were hooking up, and then she wasn't called. Yeah, she wasn't.
Well, because they picked the two other people first, and then it became Jen later on, last minute. So, anyways, I didn't say anything at that time because there was nothing to say. It was like I had some exposure to the reality TV world just from Jen going through that. And so yeah, it was just this weird.
Let's clarify on the pod, guys. This was not a long-term plan of Matt Rossi's.
Yeah, it was not. It was actually not even a short-term plan. It was literally you have 12 hours to decide plan.
You either say yes and send it, or you don't.
Yeah, so take the risks. But fast forward, Anika falls off the grid, and then
texts go green,
which is such a crazy experience that I've now experienced that twice.
Yeah.
With two people, just like the texts go green, and you're like, okay, something's up.
Something's up.
So she goes off, and then reemerges to the surface.
The promo came out while I was gone. So everyone found out publicly that I was casted on Survivor and that I was competing currently in Fiji while I was still away. So that was a really fun experience to come back to a phone of everyone blowing you up, saying, holy shit.
Yeah, I remember Sam too. Sam's also here. He's one of our friends and one of the connections that is like actually how Anika and I met.
No, you gotta get a shout out to Kirsty.
And Kirsten. I said one up. They were like in the friend group.
Okay. Sorry,
so
Sam.
The friend group, but Sam was like, oh my God, did you know Anika was going on Survivor? I'm like, I knew she was going on something. I just thought it was going to be shaking her ass somewhere.
I did a good job not telling that many people.
No, you did a great job. That's how Anika and I met.
That's our origin story.
User 1354937 on Reddit. There's your answer.
That's why we follow each other.
Oh, cool. So with that, and this is a long intro.
That was a long intro.
But I think it was necessary. Totally. And
Reddit user, I hope you're pleased.
Yeah. We didn't just start following each other after going on TV.
Imagine. No, that's a good story too.
Coincidence.
What if that was all a lie? And I'm just like, yeah.
That would be a really good lie.
Yeah, really detailed lie. I just found him on Instagram.
So with that, I think we'll get into our game. So the first scary of the day is I'm currently at Disneyland right now, ... with my ex.
Classic.
What's a hate Disney adults.
Okay. If you're a Disney adult, I still will be a friend. No judgment to a Disney adult.
Okay, hate's a strong word.
But imagine the first time you're meeting up with your ex again, you go above and beyond to purchase that Disneyland ticket. Like, that's not like
Disney is expensive.
Disney's expensive. Are they both buying tickets? Did he buy your ticket?
I think it's hard to find another Disney adult, so you're reverting back to your ex. It's kind of that, what's it called? When scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
Is you think there's not enough. You'll find another Disney adult to go to Disney with. Stop going back with your ex.
Disneyland is also a long day. It's not like, oh, let's get dinner. It's let's spend the whole entire day together.
Yeah, that's true. And it's expensive. It's pricey. Like not just the ticket, but the actual concessions. If you got to be buying a fast pass. If
parking itself is crazy.
You're never going to one park either. You're going to multiple
parks.
Both. Hotel.
Yeah, if you're staying in a hotel.
Why are you doing this
with
your ex? Go with a friend. And sorry, I rescind my words. I don't hate Disney adults. I just think...
on benefit of the doubt, though, there's a lot of distractions, right?
Yeah.
If you can distract yourself with... No, actually, I take that back. That's so much time waiting in lines with your ex.
That's like enough time to go through all of your trauma and bring up some of the past. Not in a good way. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe bring your ex and a therapist. Go into line at Disney World or Disneyland and work through everything, but otherwise, like I would get in a fight by the time you even get on Magic
Matterhorn,
Mountain, I don't know.
Space Mountain, Matterhorn. Yeah.
And for the record, I do love Disneyland. I just don't like.
You just don't go with the ears. You're not above and beyond.
Yeah,
You're not
I don't
a purchaser
buy
of the pins.
No,
yeah.
I go and
You know what I love?
It's like you need a kid with you to go to Disney World, and that's the only time where it's socially acceptable for an adult and a kid to go to a park together alone. But like, you need it. Like, it is weirder to go to Disneyland without a kid than it is to go just as. But
what about a bunch of friends?
Okay, friends would be kind of.
Okay.
That would be cool.
Yeah, like running around a park. You know what I love?
Epcot, the drinking around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love a Disneyland pickle.
Okay, I'm big into
Have
pickles.
you had the Disneyland pickle?
No, are they super sour?
Yeah, and they're like the perfect crunch. Like I would go back to Disneyland
Just for the pickles?
by myself,
I love
just for that
pickles.
pickle.
I love gas station pickles.
Ooh.
Like the ones in the juice bags.
Oh.
Yeah, the sour
I'm a big
ones.
texture person about pickles.
Ooh,
Those ones are always a little bit
love 'em.
like
They're firm.
Matt loves a firm
They
pickle.
are hard. And they just explode
Matt
when you bite
loves
into
a
them.
firm, hard pickle.
Juicy sour pickle explosion. All right, next one.
Okay, moving on.
I went to get a wax and the waxer had to leave the room to laugh.
Oh no.
I've never gotten a wax.
Oh,
I was
that's
born
sad.
like with the right amount of hair everywhere, luckily, so I've never had to get a wax.
Oh, I'm thinking about that for the rest of my life.
I know that's
If you're getting waxed, you are aware that you're hairy. That's
you'd think someone
that's hurting
in
my
this
self-esteem.
field,
Wow.
like you'd think someone in this field would be experienced enough
not laugh.
and
What
have
area-
seen.
What area are you waxing?
I mean,
Is it a guy? Is it a girl?
I'm
is
not
it downstairs?
Are
Is it
you
your- is
are
it
you
back?
laughing at someone's eyebrows?
Wait, did it say wax back or just what a wax?
It just says went to get a wax and the waxer had to leave the room to laugh.
Oh.
Like a bikini or what is it called when you
A
do
bikini, yeah.
No,
Brazilian wax, yeah.
Brazilian's
That's
the
all
whole
up in
deal.
there.
Well,
I used to get Brazilian waxes when I was like dancing back in the day and we had to wear leotards. And so I actually started Brazilian waxing at a really young age.
did anyone ever laugh?
No, never. I feel if actually everything, I don't know if you know this.
Maybe
but
she just thought of a funny joke.
for a woman, when you're going
Yeah.
for Brazilian wax, you have to butterfly yourself. So you're sitting there coochie out, butterfly. And so yeah, do you know this? Has anyone told you this before?
No.
Yeah, so you're butterflying, and like it's funny because some waxers like look you in your eye and like want to talk to you and distract you.
Yeah.
And some waxers don't say anything.
Yeah,
but
like, what's
none
the
laugh.
etiquette?
No one. Yeah, you should.
It's kind of like a gynecologist too. Like you guys have to have so many more intimate services than men. Men, it's like you just
Hard
take a
being a
razor
woman.
down there, a manscaped. The worst thing you get is a little ball nick.
a little cut there, here and there. Yeah.
All right. So, any advice? How I would find a new waxer?
Find a new waxer. If you're the waxer listening, stop laughing.
Yeah, get a new
Hold
job.
it in. Yeah.
And if you're just thinking of something funny, like
Or make an excuse. Yeah, make an
Make 'em an
excuse of why you're laughing.
yeah, or turn it into a cry. I don't know. Is that better? Never mind. All right,
Imagine
next
you're
one.
in the room and your little waxer starts crying.
All right, that's worse. Was supposed to have a date today, but he sent me a dick pic while I was at a family party, and then he blocked me.
Wait, I'm sorry. You need to reread that one.
Was supposed to have a date today, but he sent me a dick pic while I was at a family party, and then he blocked me.
Was supposed to have a date. Did he cancel on it?
Yeah, well-
Did he not show up?
Or did he just want to get right to business?
Yeah, maybe. That's
Also,
not-
who'd you open that up next to, Grandma? Hopefully her eyes are going.
Yeah, a little showtime. That.
I mean, you dodged a bullet. That's weird shit. That's weird behavior.
Well, he clearly just wants to hook up.
Yeah, but also, have you ever just gotten a dick pic
Unsolicited dick pic?
pre-first date? Yeah.
I've gotten unsolicited dick pics by guys I'm not even dating.
No. Well.
None
enough,
of which
then. Have
are
it
ever
led
received
anywhere?
well.
Are you ever just
yeah, none are ever
just
received
like, oh my
well.
god, he must love me.
I feel like it's only if you're like dating the person that, or you have to be really, really into the guy
I've heard
to
like,
love a dick pic.
is there ever a time to actually want a dick pic, like as a girl?
You have to be so horny. You have to be so horny for it to be like acceptably okay.
And do you want it like zoomed in dick pic, or do you want like full body mirror, so it's almost kind of the Statue of David style?
I say Statue of David style is preferable.
Yeah, it's like you want the whole thing. You're like, oh, it's a naked dude.
If you
It's
give me
not
a dick in your
a
hand,
zoomed up veiny dick.
a veiny dick in your hand, what's worse is a limp dick in your hand. Like I've gotten one of those. I've gotten a little video, like
Yeah.
limp going to no, none of which do it for
I've
you.
definitely not sent like a ton. I'm on request dick pic sender.
Have you sent nudes, Matt?
And it's 100%. I'm human, but it's always been full body. Well, not head. You never put your face in it.
Yeah.
Because of leaks, plausible deniability. Also,
Correct.
why I don't have any tattoos. And
That's
so
smart.
nothing. Yeah. You gotta, if you're sending nudes, you gotta do it safely, but never just Unless it was like requested up close, but
Has anyone requested a nude from you?
yeah, all the time. Yeah, especially now. Are you kidding me?
How many requests do you fulfill?
Only every day. Oh no, not I don't fulfill it every day.
Every day.
I get an OnlyFans request. Can you send me your underwear, your used socks? Do you sell?
I get a lot of sock requests.
Do you sell
I get
whole?
a lot of people wanting like feet pics.
Which I am grateful I don't have. Not to shame foot fetish because we don't fetish shame, but I am so grateful because the extent that some people will go to buy foot related items is insane. Like they must be budgeting. Someone offered to pay my rent for a sock. I was like the worst trade deal ever, but I did it.
This is excellent. We're so far off from the scary.
Yeah, we are. Anyway, okay.
We took so many different tangents.
So I told my producer, Aaron, I said with Anika, I'm going to pull a few less scaries because we will have no problem yapping, the two of us.
Yeah, we're totally fine
We
yapping.
will take this to a scarier place than
yeah,
the original
two peas in a
submission.
pod.
All right, this is a cool one.
And we're stopping ourselves now.
Yeah, we are. We have
We could
restraint.
keep going if we wanted to.
I'm like, I should have started the timer. On vacation, and I got bit by a lizard.
Where did you get bit?
Like where on vacation were they, or what part of their
No,
body?
what part of your body?
No, it doesn't say. What size lizard?
What's
feel
the
like,
worst part that you could get bit by a lizard?
I mean, I immediately am going to the one part.
Downstairs?
Yeah, the dick.
Yeah, you're right.
What about as a girl though? Nipple?
Yeah, maybe nipple. Yeah, nipple. I'm gonna go with nipple.
Yeah. Probably. Okay, so are we talking one of those little salamander lizards, or are we talking those kind of dragon sized?
I was thinking
You're
dragon
in Mexico.
sized.
I hate those things. I hate snakes. I'm not a reptile guy. There's not a lot of things like spiders, bugs don't bother me. Sharks
I think I'm
scare
a reptile girl.
me. Really? Like, would you, if you were at like an all-inclusive resort, take a picture with it on your shoulder, kind of thing?
I think I am.
Ooh, I hate that. They're like claws and.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
What about any other animal? Like, would you hug a sloth?
I was a parrot guy. I liked parrots. I have a bunch of them on my head.
Oh
you know, when you
yeah, and
just
they
put
had
the
like one on
parrot
each
your head.
shoulder and a parrot on the head.
Yeah, and you're like in the Dominican Republic, and you're like, how safe could this be? Do they have insurance? Like, is this thing gonna claw my eye out? And I was like, well, he said hello, so it must be safe.
I watched a TV show recently, and I forget which one, honestly, but the person owned a parrot, and you know how parrots can like speak back or they like copy the words?
Yeah.
All the parrot could do is copy the woman's moan from bed.
Oh God, that is hilarious. Though. That's a
Nightmare.
funny bit.
Yeah, that is a funny bit. I wish I remembered which show.
It's a horny bird.
Am I allowed to type?
I feel like that sounds kind of familiar. Yeah, you can talk about shows.
I think it. I
We're
don't.
not
I honestly don't
exclusive here
remember.
with any network.
I was gonna say I don't remember what show it was, but if someone remembers for me, put it in the comments. Is this comments
So-
on YouTube? What do you do?
We do YouTube, yeah, across platforms. YouTube, Spotify,
Okay.
anywhere you listen
Put
to
it in the
podcasts.
comments. Let me
So
know.
when you were in Fiji, it was in Fiji, right?
Yep,
Survivor.
Fiji.
Was there any like animal encounters?
Oh my god, so many.
What was the common
So
animal there?
before we go on, we are given a warning of like everything that will kill you out there.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's serious. And the only one that was actually poisonous that we kind of ran into, there's this black and white water snake.
Okay.
And
Is it a moccasin or no?
Oh, I wish I remembered the name. I don't know.
I
But
don't know if
it's
it's
a
all the
black and white water snake. And we were just washing ourselves off in the water and we saw it swim right up next to us and we had to immediately run out. There's a ton of bats out there. We hear them in the night like all the time. And for those who don't watch Survivor, we sleep in the shelter that we make outside. And so there really is no roof on us and we're sleeping outside. And there were so many bats at night. Snakes, lots
about
of different
insects?
birds. You're constantly at all times covered in about
Didn't you
13 to 12 ants.
Didn't you say something about like the water that you guys would drink?
Oh my God. Okay. So the thing about the water on Survivor is that, yes, they give you like a well of clean water, but it's never refreshed. And so it gets filled up with dirt, it gets filled up with bugs, it gets filled up with leaves. And that is what we have to drink out there.
They do say bugs, though, have an incredibly high protein to fat ratio, so you could definitely get big out there.
You
Just
can also
crushing them.
get diarrhea from eating some mosquitoes. So, and they do say out there very strongly, they're like, dehydration is worse than you shitting your brains out.
That's awful.
But you're also not shitting because you're not eating anything, so there's nothing to shit.
But no one besides the encounters, no one like got bit or anything on your season.
A lot of spider bites.
Spider bites.
Yeah, and like some got infected, some were really bad. But nothing like a big animal biting you. That's happened on other seasons, not on mine.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be out just because there's no air conditioning to sleep in.
Yeah, and you're moist always. So they give us the same pair of clothing, and because of the humidity, your clothes never fully dry. They look dry on television, but you're always like in...
Well, I know that feeling. Like just a little bit moist.
Yeah, you don't get a hairbrush, you don't get a toothbrush.
I guess that's... I underestimated how much of it was actually...
Real?
You're thicking it. Not like real or fake, but just how, like...
I get a lot of comments being like, they sneak you granola bars on the side, right? And I'm like, no, you're starving to death.
Yeah, it's like, you became big into coconuts, right?
Big into coconuts, yeah.
Which I love coconuts. I get coconut coffee.
But imagine, okay, this is the craziest thing that I like didn't really think about before I went on.
Yeah.
You have no flavor in your mouth for those 26 days that you're fully going to be out there. No salt.
Yeah.
Like no pepper, no garlic. Imagine your mouth, the only flavor you have is coconut in the form of water and or dried coconut. Like it gets old so quickly. And dirty water. Those are the flavors that you're tasting.
Yeah, it's like I hate even going to the all-inclusive buffets, like at an all-inclusive resort, and you guys are out here eating bugs and coconuts.
I know. That's what I wanted, Matt. That was my dream.
I know, and you're like, what show have I always wanted to be on?
It's Stockholm Syndrome too, where I'm like, I will go back. Like, send me back to the island.
Meanwhile, I heard on Paradise they don't even have air conditioning, so I'm like, peace. Just
Really?
kidding. Yeah. But I also didn't get asked.
Anything to convince yourself.
Right? All right, this one I felt like was something that's definitely happened to you. Met the nicest guys while on a trip and started to figure out what my type is. Apparently, it's not living in my city.
I'm roasted with that one. That one is unfortunately, what were we saying? My red flag, my biggest problem.
Like Achilles heel.
Yeah, my Achilles heel is dating men who don't live in my city.
Yeah.
The further you are, the more attractive I find you.
It's also when you meet someone on a vacation, that's like the dream. You go on a vacation, you meet someone, they seem so much better just because you've romanticized the whole situation.
Yeah, the novelty, the excitement, the rush, the passion in the beginning. It's so fun and exciting.
Honestly, what it really is, it's the lack of knowing the person that makes you like...
The lack of knowing the person, the lack of having to like plan and be serious about it. Like I love a fun rush of just meeting someone.
You're in
and
a
getting
beautiful
to know them.
place.
Yeah.
But a crush is just a lack of information. It's you don't know the things.
Crush is a lack of information. Never forget it, people.
You just only you only see the things that you like and that allow you to kind of create that fantasy that there could be something. And then I think the fact that they don't live near you, it adds a little Romeo and Juliet to the like the forbidden love element to it. So
you can still stay in your reality and have this dreamy man messaging you every now and then too.
Yeah, like imagine you were with this person in Pittsburgh. Would you still, no offense to Pittsburgh, but would it still be an appeal or no? Is it just like you go to hang out with this person in Pittsburgh?
Think about that when you're messaging your mans from abroad.
Yeah. Or you met on Raya because, again,
I heard a Raya success story the other day.
No way, like
one of my good friends actually is a Raya success story.
They were in the same country.
They were in the same city. They were both in LA. How crazy is that?
That is great. Well,
I've never heard of a Raya success story.
LA, I guess that makes sense. If there's two cities where Raya may work, it's New York and LA.
True.
But yeah, with the internet too, I think it makes you search for fish in other ponds.
I will say they had mutual friends already.
Yeah, so that helps. That was more of like a push in the right direction.
But for those who are falling in love with people abroad on vacations, we don't judge you. We just wish you the best of luck.
Yeah. Now you have a forever Instagram follower that you will likely never see again.
That's the best. When they like pop back up, you know? And then the funniest part too is like when they like years later down the line when they actually pop in a relationship and I'm like kind of bummed about it.
You see them
like,
get engaged and you're like,
damn.
That was the one.
The loss of my life.
All right. I haven't been able to shit for 2 days.
Oh, girl or guy, get some fiber.
Probiotics,
prebiotics.
Probiotic on an empty stomach, fiber after like eating, but not too much fiber because then you'll get diarrhea.
Or what is it?
Metamucil. That's
Metamucil.
Mucinex? No, that's
no, that's for your nose. Metamucil.
Yeah, or just
clear that system out.
Store-bought's fine.
Get yourself an enema.
How did you poop in Survivor?
Okay, so you have two options on how to go to the bathroom. You can either dig a hole.
Okay.
Or you can go in the ocean, which we call an aquadump.
An aqua dump.
But you don't get toilet paper, so pick your poison.
But it's kind of like you got the bidet built in.
Yeah, but like when you are starving and the waves are crashing on you and also you can't dry your clothes, like it's just such an...
What is your poop even like? Are you firm or is it like diarrhea?
Mine was, well, I shit twice, which was my first shit after all the food like that I ate prior like finally came out. That one was like decent, and then the next one was straight up diarrhea because I ate 75 hermit crabs. Instead, because we were like so excited to be like, oh my God, let's try to catch something else that's not coconut. We need a different flavor.
Yeah.
We tried it out. We boiled a couple of hermit crabs and we're like, oh my God, they taste like soft shell crab. Amazing.
Like
let's collect every
crab
single
bake.
possible hermit crab that exists on the island. And turns out you're not supposed to eat that many bottom feeders because you're just eating the shit of the ocean
that they're eating
already digested on an empty stomach. So I was...
Was that an aqua dump?
That was an aquadump. At least mine was only coming out from one end. I can't say that for everyone else.
All right, TMI, but I asked, so. I made out at a bar on a date for the first time since college. Hell yeah, long live the dance floor makeout.
We love the dance floor makeout.
It is a tale as old as time.
Oh, yeah.
I have heard of so many marriages that have started from a dance floor makeout.
Yeah.
You can find love in the club.
Absolutely.
And if not, it's so funny. They're so anonymous. The amount of times I've just had a dance floor makeout, walked away, and just never spoken to the person ever again. And
oh, absolutely.
That's living.
That is living. Even if you do know the person, I don't think it's that bad.
I don't think it's bad.
I don't think anyone is judging the dance floor makeout.
I mean, it's always funny when you're not in the dance floor makeout and you're like, oh my God, look at that dance floor makeout. And then you're like, no, actually, I'm being a petty bitch.
I want to be. Yeah, I want to be in the dance floor makeout right now.
Like, I wish
There's
it were me.
There's nothing more romanticized than when you're connecting with someone on the dance floor and you feel like everything else stops around you.
It's a
you know that
movie.
movement? Yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah.
You are the main character on a dance floor makeout.
And then you're also like cross-eyed drunk.
Yeah. The world is spinning.
They're so ugly.
You are only staring at just their eyes. You don't see the rest of their face.
But hell yeah. Yeah, let's bring back the dance floor makeout outside of college. I think, no age limit on this. No, 30s, 40s, fucking 50s, 60s. I want to see everyone out there on the dance floor
70s, 80s. Why stop there? Everyone.
It's 2025. Get on a dance floor and pucker up. I start a new job in a new city tomorrow and don't know anyone. So I wanted to bring this one in actually because you've hopped around quite a few cities in your day. So I figured you might actually have some good advice for this one.
Yeah. So I've actually lived in now Boston, where I chose to go to school and moved to a city where I didn't know anyone who was going to my college, didn't really know anyone who was living in Boston at the time. Then I went to LA, again, similar story. And then now I'm in San Francisco where I'm like net new, didn't really know anyone, living by myself now. And my advice is like, it's easy for me to say, at least, is like put yourself out there, find the different communities. I think people have asked me like, how do I branch out? How do I make friends? And quite honestly, like I do a lot of research on different platforms. Like honestly, use Google, use Reddit.
You're Googling people?
No. I'm Googling like activities
or like friends near me.
Yeah, so if you have a passion, whether it's like sports or for me it was ceramics, dance classes, anything like that, Google if there's some sort of, community in your area. Most likely if you're in a bigger city, there will be.
Yeah.
And show up because most likely you're not alone. There's a ton of other people who are also showing up alone. And then from there, even if you don't meet anyone on the first time you show up to that activity, try again. You'll feel more comfortable every single time you show up. And from there, someone might approach you. You might have the confidence to approach someone.
Yeah. I'd always say don't be afraid to be the person approaching someone because think about how nice it is when someone approaches you.
Exactly.
You never are rude about it. You're like, oh, thank God. Like, okay, now someone did the work for me. Like, be that person to someone else. That's like really cool.
You know me. I am the person that...
I would say you and I are kind of bad people
We're
to ask.
We
will talk to a wall.
Yeah.
But I wasn't always that way. Like, I didn't talk for like the first 4 years of my life. Like, I had them in the first half, if you know what I mean. But
What's the advice you give to someone or like, how do I phrase this properly? I'm trying to say that if we approach someone and we don't get the response we want, like there's no weight on our
Doesn't
shoulders.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
They're so irrelevant. So I'd say, first of all, it's totally normal. For the first time in our lives, when you're like adults, you don't have the school or the after school sports program or your mom's friend's kid that's making the introduction for you.
Right.
So it's so normal to be in this place where it's uncomfortable to have to meet people your age. So I think like what you said is going around passions, whether like for me, that's fitness, or a creative thing like pottery or whatever it is. There are now just networking groups where it's like, I just moved here and don't have friends, like on Facebook, and people are really open to it. And then I think once you're actually in those situations where you're at the thing and you're a little intimidated to talk to someone, especially if you're going alone, which is totally fine. Don't rely on having to have a friend go with you because that kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Totally.
Compliment someone. I will compliment your shoes.
Yes.
I'll compliment your shirt. I'll be like, hey, like, where are your shorts from? If I'm at a fitness class, I really like them. And it's a great way to just break the ice.
I love the compliment intro and then always follow it up from like, where are you from?
Yeah.
Like, how long have you moved here?
Have you done this class before? Like, just start yapping. And then it is crazy. Like, the toughest part is just that first initial thing. And then the conversation flows from there. And then you make a friend, like, or if they're rude about it, then that's fine. Then you do it to someone else.
Exactly.
Like, they're not important. I always say, like, everyone's a non-playable character in your life.
Absolutely.
It doesn't really
Don't
matter.
get discouraged if the first person you reach out to doesn't give you the vibe you want.
Yeah. And I'd say, like, in Boston, people a lot of times say that it's a hard place to make new friends just because there are so many people that come in here either having grown up in the area or from local schools. So there's, like, cliques. But I'd say I grew up here. I didn't go to school here, but I had a lot of friends here. But over time, they left, and I found myself in a place where I had to do these things, and it's totally doable. Like, there are still transplants here in Boston, even though it may seem like everyone already knows each other.
Just remember, you're not alone.
You're not alone.
No.
And it's not that deep.
Never.
All right. Feeling inadequate and that I'm not where I'm supposed to be at this age.
Aw. Well, let me think about that one.
I think there's no right place. As cliche, I always say things sound cliche and cliches exist because they're usually universal truths.
Yeah.
So you're right where you're supposed to be. Whatever someone else seems like they're doing, whether that's your friend settling down and getting married and you're still single, what you're not seeing is maybe they've sidelined their career because they've had to prioritize time with someone else, and maybe you've been able to prioritize your career, or the inverse. Maybe you're the person that's in the relationship, but you're not feeling like you've progressed in your career, or you have the combo where it's you haven't progressed in your career, and you don't have a love life, but you have so many friends and you've spent so much time exploring different interests. Maybe you've job hopped and you now know with certainty going into, say, whatever your age is, what you don't want to do.
Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy.
It really is.
They have that saying. And life is long. You have ultimate time to be able to make as many shifts in your love life, in your career as possible. And the only person putting a time limit or feeling that way is you.
Yeah, right? And you're likely not alone in that either. I think it can be easy to see the things you're looking for. So if you're seeing all of your friends dating people, what you're not seeing is all of your friends that aren't. And I think once you change the lens, you'll start to see more people like you, whether, again, that can be career, that could be where you want to live, what you want to be doing, who you want to be with. It could be family. It could be getting the dog. It could be really like anything. Yeah. So
the Scary said that they felt stuck, right?
Yeah. So in terms of saying stuck, I'd say now that
what's a good motivator?
Yeah. Now that you've assessed the situation, what is one thing that you can do every single day that just gets you a little bit closer to that thing that you want to do?
Exactly.
So if you're feeling single, okay, can I make an effort to, as much as it sucks, go on a dating app every day and try to set up one date a week?
Yeah.
For every single week. And that's something you're committing to that will get you closer. So back into the daily task based on the goal. Or if it's you want to change careers, is there an online class that you can take for 20 minutes a day, or a book that you could read for 10 pages of a day?
Absolutely.
That's more closer. Say if you're in finance or you want to go into marketing, take a marketing class, read a marketing book. And that way, every single day you're showing up and getting yourself closer.
I think the key is baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's easy to feel stuck when you just only picture the big goal and not the steps to get you there. And also understanding that it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah. I read this on the back of a t-shirt while I was training for a marathon, which was perfect. It's like, you don't learn to run a marathon overnight.
Right, yeah.
You do mile 1, then you do mile 2, then 3, then 4, doing it over time. You build up. And so the way you train for a marathon is by breaking it up into the smaller pieces. And I think you can take that mentality and apply it to really any goal that you have in life, because a goal without a plan is just a dream. That was what was
that
on.
was a good wrap up on that.
That was
Scary.
that was
Wow.
on a t-shirt. Yeah, some of the best advice I've ever had has been on the back of a t-shirt.
Matt Rossi with the inspirational words.
Mic drop. I vomited on date number 2, and it wasn't even from alcohol. It's a quick switch up.
Oh, man. I want to know details on this one. I want to know
What was it from?
I'm assuming a sick. I'm assuming you were either food poisoning or like a stomach flu.
Don't go to seafood on a first or second date,
Yeah.
especially if you have a shellfish allergy.
Allergy?
Yeah.
Where did you throw up? Was it in a car? Was it on
the
yourself?
bathroom,
Was it on
hopefully.
your date?
Was it nervous? Because that's something that's harder to kind of cure. Like if it's a nervous vomit on a date.
Oh.
That's something, honestly, you got to keep doing it. Like if you're getting yourself sick on a date from nerves, that to the extent you're throwing up, you got to keep yourself in that uncomfort zone and just.
I think the best response out of a throw up is you have to laugh at yourself.
Yeah, you do.
Because everyone has puked in their life, and you have to understand it. If your date is not, well, a lot of context is useful here. However, I feel like, okay, imagine you were on a date and someone puked on the second date.
I mean, at least it wasn't the first date.
Yeah, at least it wasn't the first date. But I feel like, are you a bad person if you're judging someone for throwing up on a date?
Kind of.
I think you are.
I would take it as a compliment. I was like, this person's nervous or wasted.
Yeah, nervous, wasted. I'm understanding
Ate
if they're
something
sick. Yeah, I'd be like, I wish you just told me. We could postpone. So I do think I judge the person if they judged you for puking more than you puking.
Yeah. I also don't think it's like dating's a number game. You puke on one date, that's not your person. Go on another date. Like it's.
Or you puke on your person and
Yeah,
you
just
fall
don't
in
bring
love.
bring one of those air. Yeah, it's a meet
And
cute.
it's the greatest story, greatest second date story ever.
That is a good meet cute.
Yeah.
But I'd bring one of those airplane puke baggies with you next time.
Yeah, be prepared.
All right. Well, that concludes the rapid fire round. But all right, so I
2-hour
queued up a
podcast.
few scaries that are meant to kind of cue up some greater conversations based on some of our own stories. So this one is I went on a yoga retreat and hooked up with the instructor. And what I want to ask you based on this is I know Survivor's somewhat of a yoga retreat, you could say.
Sure. I was about to say hot. That's sexy.
But were there any hookup stories on Survivor?
There have been. I wish there was more juicier information to spill to you guys. There have been hookups on previous seasons. However, like, let's paint the picture that you have not washed your dick in however many days. You have not washed your body. You smell, you're dirty, and you're starving to death. So all of us weren't that horny.
Yeah.
Painting that picture, I don't think you want to hook up with anyone.
What about hermit crabs? Are they aphrodisiacs? No.
Me eating as many hermit crabs as possible to get a little turned on. But no, there wasn't even sexual tension. Like, I wish.
What about crushes? There was no crushes that you had on anyone?
No, they literally put me on a tribe full of people who were in relationships, which is so mean of CBS.
That's fake as
I
fuck.
wanted to be so flirty out there, and they didn't even give me the chance.
Yeah.
So mean.
That is screwed up. But no crushes that you know of in your group?
Maybe in the Survivor universe,
Leave a comment.
but not on my season. Yeah, leave a comment.
Leave a comment if you ship anyone. All right, well then that was not as fruitful as I thought it was going to be.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's okay. But I have a good next one. So went on a friend's ski trip weekend, blacked out so bad I don't remember puking, and have a man nursing me the rest of the night. He had to pet me to sleep and clean my puke bowl. And
we both have similar stories to this.
Yeah,
one.
I'd say so. One thing that Anika, so I think in general, when you kind of get to our age and you don't live in the same city, a lot of the ways that I spend time with my friends that live in different places is through like weekend trips. Anika is known to host an incredible...
Infamously loves planning a group trip.
Yeah.
I love to plan a group trip.
For her birthday. And do you have any stories about anything crazy that
can I share my own Sunday scary?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so I love planning a big trip. I love bringing my friends together. I do it every single year, and I love exploring new places. So what better time to get an Airbnb that can fill 20 plus people and invite every single person who I know and love. This year, we went to Akumal, Mexico, close to Tulum. And I have this guy who is like a fun drunk kiss. Like, we love inviting someone who can just, have a fun time.
A dance floor makeout.
Dance floor makeout, exactly. And then the Sunday scary that I'm dealing with is during the trip. This is keep in mind, this is my birthday. That guy who I invite to be my fun drunk kiss ends up making out with the twink. That is also one of my besties on the trip. So my drunk kiss got stolen by a man. And
That's so
I had to witness
crazy.
it. Yeah, I just watched it the whole entire night. And it was...
I'd say it was more of a twonk.
You would know, Matt. You would know.
All right, big reveal that.
Why would you know that,
That
Matt?
person sounds super fun. I would love to invite him on a trip. That person is, in fact, me.
Drum roll, please.
And yeah, I'd say that was a surprise for me as well, because I woke up the next day not having any recollection of any of it.
That is how Matt came out to 20 plus people in one one night.
And you know what? Sometimes that's the easy way to do it. It's a lot easier.
No words were needed.
Yeah, it spoke volumes. And I actually pulled up a picture of me. So this happened on the Saturday night, so we go on a Thursday, we leave on a Sunday. And this was the Sunday morning that we were all leaving, was the next morning. And I don't think I have been more hungover in my life. We had gone to Tulum for the night before, and this was like our night out. So we play this game on the bus every time that we like pretend like someone's calling on the phone, but it's just the bottle of tequila, and then whoever it's calling has to take a swig from it. And so we did plenty of that. I had a lot of people calling me that night. And so
there's video proof of this.
Yeah, there is. And so had a lot, went to dinner. That was basically all I remember.
No, we drank so much more at dinner.
Yeah.
Then
but
there was a dance floor attached
left.
to the dinner. We drank more on that dance floor.
Yeah, my shirt came off.
Yeah. We were playing, what is the game? Limbo.
Belt limbo, but I didn't have a belt, so I took my
his
shirt off and twirled it around, which is such a fun, cool thing to do.
Yeah.
For the record. You guys can steal that trick.
Insert photo if you have one. Which we do. We have one.
We do.
It's
yeah.
me underneath.
Yeah.
I don't know if you are, the
Yeah.
about.
That was about the time I blacked out.
How scared were you on that Sunday, Matt?
It was the level of scary. And I did, I am so committed to this Sunday scary bit that I still, throughout that entire travel day, did the Sunday scary submission. So you guys might remember this if you've been following me for a while and following this series around. Like, I was traveling back from Mexico and I have never been worse. I was so hungover, I couldn't even fathom the level of scary that I had.
And I submitted it.
Yeah. You submitted
this scary that I'm sharing now to Matt Sunday Scaries.
Yeah, she did. And I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Crazy story, bro.
And luckily, I was like the only one going back to Boston. So when we were all traveling back home, like the first half, I was just knocked, which we'll flash the picture if you're watching the video. We'll pull it up, the picture of me. And so we did the first leg together. All of us had layovers, and luckily after that I flew on my own, and that's when it really hit. Was like, oh wow, well,
Matt's processing every single thing he did.
I just told, I'm like, I just revealed 20
There's nothing better than a processing on a plane. Like,
yeah.
I'm a big fan of the plane cry.
Yeah, there's definitely was a pain
You
cry.
have to put in your best playlist.
Yeah.
Window seat, best playlist.
Some sad song, look out the window. Yeah. It's like you're in a movie.
Nothing is better main character energy.
Yeah,
than that.
most of that time I just slept. I have never because I checked my Whoop, and I think I had been up till 5 a.m. and we had to leave the next day at like 8 or 9 a.m. So there definitely was not a lot of sleep. And so I was catching up on that. And then I think this was a 2-day scary. This was a Monday morning. Oh. It's when it really hit.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I got some explaining to do. But then like looking back, I was like, you know what, actually, like, I don't really have any explaining to do.
No, you don't.
I'm happy in retrospect.
All of us were very happy for you.
Yeah.
Was it so entertaining to witness? Absolutely.
I lived to entertain.
You lived to entertain.
And I'd say, like, looking back on that part, like, that was in October. So that was about 6 or 7 months ago. Like, that was kind of where I was really in the thick of things personally and kind of, like, figuring out my identity and managing this transition of how do I bring kind of people in to this like aspect of me. And I was really scared of judgment and the way that people super close to me would react. And I never really knew how to open it up. And I think even growing or not like growing up, but like going through college, like alcohol was almost like a crutch for me to avoid all of these feelings. And so I remember kind of that period of time just leaning a lot on alcohol more than I kind of had. And it was in processing this emotion that I just wanted to release it. I was like, I don't even care who knows anymore. I want them to know. It was almost like a cry for help.
Yeah. And we're really happy for you.
Thank you.
Not only do I have a really fun story for my birthday trip
and for all of you, I
find hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. But also we're so happy for you that you got to express yourself.
And I think it led me down a path of like true happiness and authenticity, and the people that know now, like it's always scarier than what you think it's going to be. And I've made this year the year of really not letting things that scare me stop me from who I am and what I've always wanted to do, whether that's career or life, love. And
I love this for you, Matt.
So, or podcasts, conveniently named The Scaries.
The Scaries.
So, yeah, great
Happy
story.
Yeah, great story.
Sometimes your scariest moments and your scariest Sundays can lead to some of the most impactful changes and build more of your relationships with some of the people that you kind of encountered them with. So
absolutely,
the whole point of this podcast is, again, to learn from your mistakes. And that was one mistake I surely fucking learned from.
Learn from, but don't regret.
No, I mean, a little regret.
Maybe there were different ways
some regrets. Alrighty, so that finishes our scary story time, and now is the big reveal of our all new and final segment. This is one that Sam, I have to give props to, came up with, and I want to give him full credit for. So this one is called Legit or Full of Shit. So a lot of people,
Sam, clever.
Clever. So what we did here is I get a lot of submissions, and sometimes it's hard to figure out, are these real or are they just full of shit? So we designed a segment fully based off that. So what I did is I have pulled some real scaries that these are some of the craziest ones out there. So for all of you guys that are asking for crazier scaries, we loaded them into this segment. I've mixed in some that are real and some that are not real. So shout out ChatGPT for coming up with those. And it's your job to guess whether the submission is legit or full of shit.
I love it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. The first one. I sucked my boyfriend's dad's dick.
Oh my God. Okay. I sucked my boyfriend's dad's dick.
And we'll keep
Why
score.
do I feel like that's legit? So I've seen some of the things that you share.
I know. If you've been following along, they don't hold back.
Okay, I'm going to vote in legit.
Legit? That one is legit. Yeah, that is crazy. I wonder if your boyfriend... I mean, it makes sense. If you're into your boyfriend, odds are you're into their dad. They got the same genetics.
Yeah.
Just maybe you got some trauma to...
Do you tell your boyfriend? There. Do you not tell your boyfriend?
Do you approach them as a threesome?
You have options.
Oh, God. All right. Next one. Compared dicks with my coworker, and we weren't even drunk.
Oh, I don't have a dick, so I don't know how normalized this is, but I feel like that's legit. Like, boys do that, no?
I mean, it could have been in a bathroom, I guess, like urinal.
Yeah, like in a locker room.
Most boys don't do that.
Yeah, I feel like younger guys do that.
Maybe like 4-year-olds in a locker room, like at soccer, if that.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say, let's go with full of shit for this one.
This one was in fact legit.
Ah!
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
But we don't judge, so not that crazy. It's as long as it was.
Are you comparing limp dicks or hard dicks?
I don't know. Yeah, you follow up. I'm just kidding. But as long as it was consensual and it doesn't break your HR policy, I guess that's fair game. But yeah, we would have guessed full of shit. Probably would have guessed full of shit for that.
Yeah,
one
you kind of
too.
led me that way.
Yeah, I tried to. Put my poker face on. Okay, this one is wild. Found my best friend in bed with his stepsister. I thought that only happened in porn, truthfully, but
wow.
I don't know. It could be legit. It could be full of shit.
Yeah, living out a porno. That's exciting. I'm gonna quickly say legit on this one.
That one is also legit.
Oh my God.
The joke is they're all just legit.
Yeah. That's crazy.
No, I swear there are some full of shit ones in here. I faked my dog's death to get out of a situationship.
Oh. I'm also gonna say legit on this one. I feel like that's a good enough. That's a yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, that one's full of shit. But that one is a good idea, and ChatGPT did come up with that one. And you know what? I might use that.
Yeah, that's clever.
No, just kidding. If you guys are gonna break up a situationship, just tell the truth.
Be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, and also,
I think you've said this before, but I agree. It's embarrassing to be the ghoster.
It really is embarrassing to be the ghoster. And nowadays, it is so easy. So this is a side tangent, but I've been watching Love on the Spectrum, and I think everyone could learn from this show because of how mature this dating is. Like, they end every single date, and they look at each other, and they say, you know what? I've had a great time. It was great getting to know you. And they either say, I would love a second date, or I would like to remain friends. Or if they don't want to remain friends, they just thank them for the time and they move on. It is some of the most evolved dating I've ever seen. And I really think that just anyone neurotypical, neurodivergent could learn from it.
Yeah, I love that. I'm obsessed. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the first season I'm obsessed.
And so much of this season's in Boston too. It's really cool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. I flew out to Chicago to meet a guy. After I got there, he told me that he really lives in Des Moines.
That's a nightmare. That's a nightmare.
This is why we don't fly out for love unless we've met them in person first.
Oh my God, I hope that's full of shit. I really hope that's full of shit.
That one is in fact full of shit.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God no one had to do that.
Thank God.
Although you would get some miles out of it just to look for a bright side. But also, what the hell is Des Moines?
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to say it. Why is there an S in there? All right, next one. My straight friend gave me a foot job last night and said he doesn't mind helping out a friend.
Oh,
Like
please be full of shit. Please be full of shit. How do you casually initiate a foot job?
I think that one maybe holy water.
No,
Cleanse the
genuinely.
air. Actually, after a few of the stories that we've had today, I think let's just stop for a...
Yeah, please cleanse this whole entire space after today.
Kirkland hates the holy water.
Oh,
He's a
so
sinner.
calm next to me, Kirkland.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When you shed all over
well,
me.
First off, impressive foot skills, like the dexterity involved there. That's not easy. But did you have an answer on this one?
I'm going to say, I hope full of shit.
Full of shit? This one is, in fact, legit.
Oh, how do you initiate a foot job like that?
How do you, ask your, you got a few things to, if they're their straight friend. Okay, yeah.
Hey, buddy.
So was I.
Yeah.
They gave, how are you initiating one, I would naturally go to, hand job first, but they're like, oh, no, it's less gay.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
it's less gay if it's a
foot
foot job.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude, it's totally not gay at all.
It's like, yeah, it's the gay version of soaking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, my God. Speaking of, I guess I stayed on the same subject here. Started a Foot Finder account to save money to study abroad.
I hope legit.
This one is legit, and honestly, that's called entrepreneurship.
Yeah, props to you.
Yeah, as you should.
Keep it up.
There's a lot of world to see, and if you got 2 pair of feet that you can use to not just travel the world, you might as well sell them online to fund it.
I commend you for your effort.
Yeah. It's like women in business.
Yeah, women in business. Love it.
Got a little too drunk at my cousin's wedding and made out with the waiter in the coat closet.
That's fun.
That is fun.
I hope it's legit.
That's like a dance floor makeout, but
but in a closet.
Yeah, in a
little
closet.
sneaky, little behind the scenes.
That's this one unfortunately was full of shit.
Ah, boo.
But good idea for next time. I've gone to a lot of weddings lately. So.
Someone get inspired.
Yeah.
Submit it next time.
This one just says, I come by imagining you.
Oh, legit.
Yeah, it's legit. You guys love me. Half of these submissions are just, you know.
They're hyping you up.
Yeah,
they're sliding in.
You know what? Keep them coming.
I actually respect a slide in.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you could ask me how my day was first, but, you know, I'm flattered still by this.
I've dated a slide in.
Yeah. I always say Instagram's a dating app.
Yeah.
No matter how you look at it, it's the biggest, most common dating app out there. I think the expert move is if you find someone on a dating app, you find their social media and slide in, so that way you can kind of like break out.
Break the ice.
That being said, like my DMs are a freaking like the trenches. There's not saying like I get a ton of it, but it's like there's bots.
Matt's saying that he's really popular and everyone loves him, both guys and girls, and he just can't choose.
It's hard. It's hard being me. Thought I was taking a weed edible and turned out to be a mushroom chocolate.
Well, if you were... I forgot we're playing the game. I was responding to it. Okay. I was like, well, it depends what you want out of this experience.
You're like, I also took one.
Okay. I'm going to say that's legit.
This one is full of shit.
Oh.
But to be honest, I would rather this happen than the inverse. Like, I'm at the age where, or not the age, but I have just kind of stopped doing weed. And if I even take 5 milligrams of an edible, I am having a panic attack on the couch.
5's a lot for me.
You give me a mushroom chocolate, I am like having a great time. Like, put on some house music.
What did I say? California Sober is doing mushrooms.
Well, it started off as weed, and then now it's expanded into mushrooms.
Now it's mushrooms. Okay.
Yeah. So you know what? I know it's full of shit, but it sounds like a good time.
That one was believable. He got me with that one, guys.
I just realized we're out. We're done. That was it.
That was it, Matt Rossi.
That was our submission. We only went how much over time?
You know what's funny about this?
Oh, not crazy.
That's not crazy. I think it's funny that both of us had the same Sunday Scary.
Yeah, we did.
Like, we shared a mutual story that was...
That's the first time a submission has been with a guest about the host. Well, to hopefully no more of those.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many more of those are there?
But there will be plenty more crazy stories to come. And also, one thing I did want to mention is it is only fair that you guys share all of your deepest, darkest secrets with me, that I also return the favor, because at the end of the day, we're all in this together, and we're all here to learn and be better people no matter what we've done to fuck up. So
Matt's big on equality, guys.
Yeah, you know what? I'm in this era of, personal development, but how do you make it fun and entertaining? And that's what we're here to do, even if that means I embarrass myself.
Absolutely.
Because
we love it.
Only you are capable of feeling embarrassed. Someone else cannot make you feel embarrassed. That is something that you feel in yourself, no matter what someone says to you, no matter what they try and do to make you feel that way. Embarrassment is a feeling that only you can feel.
Absolutely.
And choose not to feel. Okay, before we end things, I have one more piece that we do when we have guests. Is I do have a gift for you.
Oh my God.
And they are always gifts of varying degrees of value and relevance. But
oh my God, should I be nervous?
I wanted to give it to you.
Guys, I'm nervous.
So I recently went antiquing, thrifting.
Ooh.
And I found something, and I knew you were coming on, and I said, Anika will love this. So it's very like Y2K. But I got you this little CD
I was
player.
so prepared to be fake surprised.
No.
Wait. Or fake happy about this.
I thought it was cool.
Wow.
And it kind of matches your periwinkle.
Okay, for those who aren't who are listening and not watching, he got me a boombox.
It's a little purple CD player boombox Y2K. It's still a little dusty. I could have wiped it down.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I love this. Oh my God.
I figured it's cool,
that's
dance beatbox.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm break dancing to my little boombox.
Yeah, I don't know if it works. I never plugged it in, but
we'll find out later.
Otherwise, it's a great
to be determined. I love it.
So
thanks, Matt.
And then one more thing that we do before we wrap is we have to award a scary of the week. So what was the scariest scary of the week?
Oh, do you have one that's popping out?
Yeah, the one that was about me.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be our mutual scary. Yeah, can we award ourselves?
But I'm trying to think of some other ones.
Remind me some of them.
Bit by a lizard was one. I don't think that's crazy.
No, that's not crazy.
I think that the sucking my boyfriend's dad's dick
that was
definitely
crazy.
was up there.
Yeah. Oh no, the waxing one.
Ooh, waxing.
The waxing one might be
scary of the week. You are the guest, so you get the ultimate say.
Because that one like stays with you.
That one.
Okay, I'm gonna award the back or not the back. I'm gonna award the waxing one because you had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that's not your fault.
That's not your fault at all.
I mean, it might be actually. We don't know the situation.
We don't know the situation.
All right, well, that's official. The scary of the week goes to the waxer that had to leave
got laughed at.
The waxing to laugh. So you might not have won then, but you have now won this time. So look who's laughing now. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining us. If you enjoyed the show and if we were able to at least help you laugh off some of your scaries this Sunday, send it on over to someone that needs it. And if you'd love to submit your own Sunday scary, you can send those over to @thescariespod@gmail.com, or in the link in my bio, there is a form that will collect them completely anonymously. I won't take any of your information. And make sure to follow @thescariespod across platforms, wherever you listen to podcasts or subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow me @TheMaddieRossi across platforms. And if you'd like to follow Anika,
you can find me @Anika across all platforms. That's ANIKALEIA.
And we hope you all have a great week. Happy Sunday, and go make some more scaries. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.